Namaste everyone. The last year and a half has been one that mankind will always remember for what they witnessed, or should I say what they had to witness. If you ask anyone, how were the years 2020-21, you are in all probability going to get answers like worst, sick, nightmare, terrible and all of that. There's no denying that whether we like it or not, whether we wish to remember it or not, but history will always remember these 2 years for the kind of metamorphic change, the kind of departure this time was able to bring into our lives. Of course, it goes without saying that a lot of us had to go through the pain of detachment, a pain of health loss, and of losing some of our near and dear ones. So, it is very obvious that at a human level, at a physical level, such trying times, such repelling times are best forgotten and we just wish to move on. But if seen at a spiritual level, at a higher level of wisdom and consciousness, these are the very times that life lessons can be learned, where we can approach these tough times with maturity and wisdom. It can help us elevate spiritually to another level altogether. Remember, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. So friends, in my opinion, from a spiritual perspective, it means that we are all in our own way very fortunate, yes, fortunate and blessed to live through and witness such a time. Not only from a spiritual perspective, but from an astrological angle too. We can see that this time, which came with a huge wave of challenges and changes, has an ocean full of opportunities of spiritual advancement right behind it, if we can use it to elevate ourselves higher spiritually. Now the question is, as an individual, as a society, did we rise a couple of notches higher, or did we slide down a couple of notches? I'll give you an astrological explanation for it. Stay connected. See you on the other side. Let's understand the present times and its challenges astrologically. In my previous videos, I have explained how the whole of pandemic is an astrological combination, a combination triggered on the basis of Jupiter and Pluto's interaction in the skies, along with Saturn and Rahu Ketu playing formidable roles. Saturn moved into Capricorn last year in Jan of 2020. Saturn is the Karma Karaka. Simply put, the planet that indicates the areas where action will take place and where we must also focus our actions on. Saturn sits in Capricorn sign, the standard 10th house of the zodiac belt. It is also known as the Karma Sthan, the area of one's duty, one's deeds. So, Saturn is bound to give us, the whole of humanity, the results related to our karmas, our deeds during this time. More so, if we focus well, it's also telling us what kind of karma or deeds should we also be doing now. The planet Saturn in Vedic astrology has 3 aspects. Like any other planet, it aspects the 7th house from where it sits. So its opposing and dangerous aspect falls on Cancer sign. The standard 4th house of the zodiac, Cancer is. 4th house represents home and family. So, not surprisingly that from last year onwards, we have been forced to spend most of our times inside our homes with family. On a physical level, 4th house also represents the chest area of our body. That covers the respiratory system and the lungs. And as we know, it is our respiratory system that the COVID virus attacks and troubles. The next aspect is to the 3rd house from itself, which happens to be the Pisces sign, the standard 12th house of the zodiac. On one side, 12th house represents the Vyaya Sthan, the house of losses, disconnection and detachment. Saturn's aspect has demonstrated losses of all different kinds, as in loss of health, loss of near and dear ones, loss of wealth and opportunities in these past 2 years. The last aspect of Saturn is to the 10th house from itself. It falls on the sign of Libra, the standard 7th house of the zodiac. Libra is the house of business and commerce. It does indicate that there will be significant impact on this area due to the position of Saturn. Worldwide, businesses have taken a hit. Some businesses are just keeping their head above water. Some of them have perished altogether, while some have had to re-strategize how they operate. But now, let's re-look these three aspects in a very different way, in a different light altogether. Saturn's aspect to the 4th house, that is Cancer sign, related to emotions and feelings, is also a direction for us to ignite the side of human feelings and compassion, not just for fellow human beings alone. 4th house represents animals. 4th house is Mother Nature. Again, the aspect to the 7th house, that is Libra sign, which also indicates our counterpart, people you come across, you interact with, you deal with. Put them together, Saturn's instruction is to have compassion for others, opening your heart to others, sensing their pain and joy within you. Libra or Tula Rashi is the sign of justice. Saturn's aspect is a question to us, whether we are treating others in a just way, the way you would treat yourselves. And if that is done well, the last aspect, the aspect to the 12th house, represents true liberation. For 12th house is the house of moksha, of salvation, of breaking these bondages that bind us within our selfish desires. Putting these aspects together, we can understand that Saturn is making us realize the importance of karma towards our fellow beings, towards all other beings, towards nature, while having an open and compassionate heart, which is the right way to liberation. Now the big question is, how well did we fare? Have we chosen the right way of godliness, of learning, of understanding and introspection? Or are we still eager to get back to our so-called normal life, the usual corrupted and self-centered view of events, without paying heed to these lessons? At an individual level, many amongst us did miss the whole point of learning. Corruption became the second pandemic during COVID. Whether it is by medical agencies and professionals, or whether it is by a common man who just saw an opportunity to make some quick money, or whether it is like people like you and me who believed in hoarding as if there is no tomorrow, or by our corporate and businessmen brothers for whom everything is a case of demand and supply opportunity, by the administration and even people who lost their patience and inner balance, and of course, nations refusing to see humanity beyond the man-made boundaries and policies. Many chose their own priorities over others. It's not a surprise that such a side of the society was and will be revealed even further, because astrologically the Karaka of Maya, illusion and falseness, Rahu, is in aspect in trine with the planet of action, Saturn. So whether it is getting affected by fake news or by the confusion over COVID, its different variants and even the treatment, this is the gift of Rahu for us during these times. Yet at the same time, there is a very different, a very positive side too, without doubt. We cannot thank the medical fraternity enough for their exemplary work by serving the people. And of course, each of the frontline administration and working staff who kept the world going on for us. And a huge salute to the Samaritans of kindness for reaching out in whatever capacity they could. A macro view of the situation is also highly interesting. Google Trends reveal that the world searched for how to help more than ever during this period. How to meditate, how to heal was searched very highly. How to donate was searched more than how to save. How to change the world was searched more than how to go back to normal. This is an important indicator that a majority amongst us have their heart in the right place. They chose to focus not on the challenge or the pain that the time brings, but the learning and the growth from here on. Friends, as I speak now, Saturn is retrograde in the sky. Jupiter too is retrograde. Jupiter in the coming months will visit its own sign of debilitation. It's almost like Saturn's and Jupiter's revisit is asking us to reconsider, reintrospect and become aware of our actions. Friends, the position of Rahu, Ketu and Saturn will only change around April of 2022. In many different ways, it will pose questions for us, can put us in difficult situations, sometimes on a personal level and sometimes on a larger environmental scale. Yes, the challenge will persist, and by God's grace, kindness, compassion and wisdom too must persist. Whether the virus is man-made or not is not the question. What can man do from here on is the real question. Thank you all for watching. Would love to know your thoughts and ideas through the comments below. Do take very good care of yourselves. See you soon.